Good morning.
Welcome to the morning show.
Yeah.
The Big Show with Glenn and Angel on Kiss 92.
Good morning.
Sometimes getting out of bed in the morning is a lot to deal with all at once.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to Happy at Work Thursday. And today we have Yen with us from Korea Agility International.
Good morning.
Good
happy
morning.
to be here. Coffee.
Yeah,
First
we all have
coffee.
our coffee.
Cheers,
So,
cheers.
cheers to coffee in the morning.
Good to have you here, Yen.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Yen, it is Thursday once again. One more day to the weekend.
Oh,
So
yes.
what do you have for us this morning?
So I want to talk about portfolio careers, and a lot of our clients have reached a stage where they've grown a little bit too big, and they're thinking, I want to slow down a little bit. What can I do? And that bigger strategy for downshifting, the most effective one, is to kind of unbundle themselves into little pieces, bite-sized pieces, and look for assignments. So they can have multiple income streams coming in from different directions for different projects that they might want to pick up. Kind of like gig, but more professional, I suppose, more leveraging of their
Expertise and
their corporate experience.
just to quantify, what exactly is a portfolio career for anyone who might just be tuning in right now?
I think it's a very broad spectrum and it applies to everyone. So if you're a gigster and you have multiple projects ongoing, that's a portfolio. Or you have an HR practice and you might have 5 clients. One could be an analytical one could be a transformative one, and something like that. And so you've got 3 or 4 different projects at the same time. Together, they form a portfolio.
So kind of like different streams of income
Yes.
form a portfolio career?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay,
Well, of
all
course,
right.
you can also do pro bono projects. It's still a
Yeah,
portfolio.
nobody wants to do it. I'm like, no one wants
Did
to do
you
pro
see her
bono.
face? For those of you who are watching us on The Big Show and The Big Show TV,
I'm like, I don't understand that term.
she doesn't do anything for no money.
Exactly. Why should anyone?
Okay, you can also ask Yen anything. Okay, today on Facebook, I think.
Yeah, Facebook, YouTube, you
Yeah.
know, we've got it both
You're
here.
monitoring both?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. We're talking portfolios today with Yen. Up next, Gracie Abrams. This is Close to You on Kiss 92.
As I go to YouTube and monitor that too. Yes.
Because sometimes I wonder whether we're monitoring YouTube or not.
Now we are.
So one of the things about portfolioism is that a lot of individuals who have had a stellar career, they've built themselves up so well, and then they make a decision to say, I think I've had enough. I need to slow down a little bit. And then they just think that it's okay to just jump off the cliff.
And not do anything, you mean?
No, without planning.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I want to emphasize that it's really important to kind of think about what it is that you want to offer to your universe, because your universe could be very unique to the skills that you have to offer as well. So let's say you're in HR, right? You can't be going out there and picking up, I don't know, like some kind of banking project. It's going to it won't fit. And so a lot of the clients who jump in or just say, okay, I'm just going to do this, but without the planning or thinking about what it is they have to offer, then sometimes they pick up lackluster projects, or they haven't thought about the pricing, or they haven't figured it out. Then there's a cost, there's a learning curve that becomes a lot steeper. So the first thing I want to recommend to people who are thinking of portfolioing is to put together kind of like their brochure, their price, not
Like
price,
a rate
but
card.
like a rate card, but also what it is in that product or service offering, and be very specific about it, almost like a pitch deck.
Yeah.
So you put together like some document that can explain what you can do for your audience, rather than just say, hey, my work speaks for itself, here's my resume. It
doesn't work
It doesn't
anymore,
work
yeah.
because it's not pitch like it's not a business development.
Right.
And if you don't know how to put a pitch deck together, Canva offers AI solutions.
Yes.
Even the free version. You go onto
Yes.
Canva and it says, what do you want to put together? You just type in whatever you need and then you can tidy it up from there.
Yes.
So everything has AI involved now.
That's
so you
right.
can use that. Yeah.
Lovely. And my favorite is napkin.ai.
What? Oh, I don't know.
You can
napkin.
also
Oh.
you can also write a couple of things on it, and it will create the nicest infographics for you.
So like
Napkin.
a presentation.
Yeah, yeah. Where you don't
Ooh.
ever have to worry about drawing shapes on your PowerPoint painfully.
Wow. Okay.
And the other one is what? Canvas.
Canva.
Canva.
yeah.
As in
it-
spelled CANVA.
Yeah.
Yes, Canva is
Canva.
fantastic. I mean, I put my rate card together. I put my YouTube thumbnails together on
Sure thing,
Canva.
yeah.
No, this one I
No,
do.
no,
This
no,
one I
no,
didn't do with AI. This was before AI came along. I haven't
So
actually
it's
tested
the
it.
AI is putting the designers out of work.
It is.
because
It
in the
is.
past you can outsource a lot of the
To like
the
Fiverr
pitch
and
that-
stuff
yes,
like
that's
that.
right.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's also giving you the power to create something
That's
as well.
right.
You
And
know?
if you don't like it, you can change it.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
and once when I used Napkin AI, I thought that it would make my life easier. No, I was paralyzed by choice.
Oh my gosh,
because
too
it
much
gave me
stuff.
so many options on how I wanted to present my ideas. I was stuck there for half an hour just looking. It's almost like shoe shopping. You're
Yeah.
like, wow, and then wow.
Oh, I like
and then
this. Oh,
wow.
wait, no, that's that one. No, that's
too
change the
many,
color.
too many options, not good as
No,
well.
that's true. That is true.
It's like
yeah.
Netflix,
You know.
you keep surfing,
And
and
there's
then you
still
never
nothing to watch.
and then you never watch anything.
Actually, it's true. Nowadays, when I choose something to watch, right, it must like call out to
Resonate,
me.
yeah.
Yes, I need to, because there's so much out there, right? And I see all these movies and some of the movies from the past as well.
Yeah.
Some comedies. And I'm like, should I watch this? I should be watching this, but I
don't
just
wa-
don't feel like it.
You
And
feel-
the thing
you need
is,
to feel
as we
like it,
get
yeah.
as we get older and we're more exposed to things, we're looking for something original.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
nothing screams to us anymore. And I'm like,
No.
oh, okay, no, that trope's been done. Oh, who's the actor? No, and then
Oh, he's in it? No, I don't like him.
Well, I just watched this show. It's called Unicorn Madness. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Uh-huh.
it's a Thai show about how he, he builds this business from scratch. It's very
So,
very
a
interesting.
unicorn. Wow, okay.
Yeah, unicorn. I think it's Unicorn Madness.
What is
It's
the definition
Thai-
of a unicorn? It's like it goes to $1 billion, right?
Yeah, in Thailand, I
In
think.
oh,
Thailand.
I,
in
I was
Singapore.
thinking of a horse with a horn.
No,
in the
I was
front
thinking
and
unicorn
magic.
business.
Mad Unicorn. It's called
Mad unicorn.
Mad Unicorn.
But you know what I
good.
really enjoyed when I was away, right? Was the fact that there was no Netflix and stuff like that. There was cable TV.
Oh.
So I was forced to watch whatever was on the television. And you know what? It felt so freeing because I didn't have to like choose what to watch, pause and all that. If something was going to happen and you needed to go to the loo, you better hurry up and come back because something might happen. You know, the back in the
Oh,
day where
wow.
you just like
Yeah.
you just like enjoy how things are played and you work towards what's showing on the telly rather than the other way around.
I think you like that because it's different than our usual.
Exactly.
But then if it's always like that, then we would love having.
It's a
those
nice
options.
change.
Yeah,
It's a nice change,
It's a
yeah.
digital. It's a digital detox.
Detox, yeah.
We never imagined that we would have so many options.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, too many options, like we said, are
Yeah,
never good,
and
right?
then you still can't choose.
So, okay, when it comes
Yes.
to options, then, is having a very vast portfolio a good thing, or should we narrow it down and keep it to a certain number?
That's a great question. It's a really, really good question because sometimes when we spread ourselves too thin, we don't have economies of scale and there's no benefit to those projects. So if you've got 3 projects, A, B, and C, and A and C are so different and they require so much more effort, you can't really leverage some of the things you've already built for A and B to do project C, for example. So that would be a strategic decision, like what are you going to do about that? I mean, if you've got project C on your portfolio, and then how are you going to leverage that, or is it going to detract from your ability to deliver on those other 2 projects?
So, what's a good number
So
to have?
I don't have a number. Again, it's context matters, and if your project's very complicated, then don't spread yourselves too thin. But on the other hand, it's also nice to ensure that your projects do not have a conflict of interest.
Oh, right.
You can't be
Okay.
working on 2 different organizations on the same sort of project because I say, hey, did you know that Bank A did this, and so your Bank B, you better do it too. That would be
It'll be competing against, there's no
cannot.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be, I think, dangerous territory. It would probably be criminal.
And you would have to let your clients know this,
Exactly.
right? That you're working for both, and it probably wouldn't be allowed
so,
anyway.
So when managing a portfolio, some diversification in terms of perhaps the job scope, like you could be doing training for company A, and then you could be doing a project for company B. It's different. And then maybe you could pick up small projects and do some research, and that's different again.
Even if they're all banks, it's fine.
Again, it depends.
Yeah, okay.
And it depends, and I don't know because there's no specific context. I think if it were 2 or 3 projects that detracts from your brand, that's a different topic again.
Let's
So-
talk about that
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
on air. We're going for a traffic update.
It's not a secret I try to hide, but I can't have you. We're bound to break and my hands are tied.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you're on the AYE heading towards Tuas after the Alexandra Road entrance, you may have noticed a stationary vehicle. If not, look out for that. On the CTE towards the AYE, an accident before the Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5 exit. Avoid lanes 1 and 2. Sounds like there's more than one vehicle involved in that. If you have any news for us, it's 8855-0920.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to a lovely Thursday morning, made even lovelier by Yen from Korea Agility International. She is the other boss.
And the other
And
boss,
founder.
The other boss is actually tuning in and communicating with anyone who's watching as well. He's talking. He put the link in for Napkin AI.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For everyone that's watching as well. Mall says all students now use Canva. Canva is really popular, but this is the first time she's hearing of Napkin AI. So we'll
You
check
know,
it out.
the thing about AI,
Yeah.
it's making life so difficult because my kids
Mm-hmm.
are submitting their projects and they have to make sure that it is not AI.
Of course.
So they have to put it through and they have to pass it through an AI checker. And so they've got more work to do.
There's an AI checker.
Who has to
Yes.
pass it through? The schools have to pass
No,
it.
the kids.
The kids have to pass it through an AI checker.
Yeah, to
Why
make
would-
sure that when they submit,
Yeah.
and then they collect their own receipts. They say, look, you can see my Google Doc timestamps and they're
They
just
have
trying
to
to
show
like
it?
justifying their
Oh.
assignments. I'm like, why? Like,
So this is
This is not as
it's
cheating.
but it's mandatory that they have to put it through to give the school.
Okay, that one I don't know, but
Okay.
I know that my kids are checking it to make
Okay.
sure that the teachers don't have any cause to be concerned.
Right.
Wow.
Because I suspect that even if it was written original,
Yeah.
and they put it through an AI checker, like they do that. They check for to make sure you didn't like steal the content. from
Plagiarism.
someone.
Yeah.
That's the word. Not enough coffee. So they would put it through that, and sometimes the machine will say, yeah, this is 80% AI when it was written originally because AI's learned your voice, for
Correct.
instance, or,
Yeah.
or
Oh
something.
my goodness.
So
Wow,
I'm
can you
like, what are you
imagine?
doing? So one time, my kid gave me a quick like write up that she did, and I'm like, she said it reports at 60% AI. Mom, can you help? I'm like, but you wrote this, so what are you gonna do? And then I tried to change a few words, and went, Mom, you made it worse. It's now 80% AI.
Oh my goodness. So
But
how
I
do-
think if AI is accepted, then just let it go. lah.
no, but you can't
You
because
cannot,
then the kids don't think anymore. You know what I mean? You're just putting it
Yeah,
through.
but you can't, once again, you can't police these things. I mean, it's so widely accepted and stuff like that, right? Look, I
It's-
mean, everyone knows I'm the only one who doesn't use AI, ChatGPT, and all that. Everything is thought out nice and
What's
clear.
that app on your front? I
don't have anything.
You've
I
got
don't-
ChatGPT on your phone.
ChatGPT let me down once and never use ChatGPT again.
Apparently, the paid version's good.
Oh,
And that's the
oh.
thing. So
Yeah.
so if we take the freebie,
They draw you in.
We don't get the best
course.
service.
Yeah,
Right.
of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
That's how they make their money.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Many people use ChatGPT for like, I mean, serious work.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
What
yeah.
do we use ChatGPT for? What did I
Breakfast
try?
bingo.
Breakfast bingo. Give me all the B words, please. Give me all the I words,
You
please.
can use a Scrabble checker for that.
Scrabble checker. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, interesting. Doesn't
Okay.
sound as exciting though. Yeah.
We are with Yen from Korea Agility International. If you'd like to send her an email, you can do so. info@koreaagility.org. The time is 8:18.
Kiss 92 Time Check by Poo Tian.
Okay, we have Lavina on our Facebook who's jumped on and asked Yen. Not sure if this question is relevant to the topic, but asking about name cards.
Yes.
Is that old fashioned or should I have one with the QR code? Do advise.
Right now, it's both. But in my experience, I think about 70 to 80% of the time, you probably don't need a name card. But you never know when you do, especially if your audience is conservative and in that maybe the board level people, they still have a little bit of that old school.
They like
Yeah.
that
They would like that,
exchange.
especially if it was a, a gathering, a small gathering, and you've got something physical and no one knows
Yeah.
who you are.
Right.
And the people in that group might be slightly older.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not so. It's not that we're not using the phone, it's that we can't see the phone.
Yeah.
So even if I were to like find your LinkedIn and we are doing the QR code
yeah.
exchange on LinkedIn, I'm not going to take the effort to look for you. So you want to have some name card, but maybe don't print too many boxes. In
Not
the
too
past,
many, yeah.
I used to print like 2-3 boxes at a time, but
Yeah.
and then they just sit there and rot.
Us as well. Like
Yeah.
two boxes.
Yeah. Now we don't have
maybe
cards
you just
anymore.
need one, and then just make sure
Standby.
you have it somewhere,
Yeah.
stash it in a couple of places. But the QR code idea on the card is a good idea. Because at the end of that meeting, after the person takes your card, right, and they're not going to save the
Keep
card.
the card,
They're
yeah.
going to take the QR code and zap it, and then that would have your contact details, and maybe that would go straight into whatever app they have on their phone.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people have their own CRM, they've got HubSpot.
They do.
Or they have some other cam scanner type thing.
Yeah, what I
Yeah.
use is I use the One Good Card little
So bulky,
sticker.
right?
No, it's not that one. It's just this sticker. This is my phone
Oh,
grip.
the sticker,
one?
right.
This round
Oh, the-
sticker
yeah.
that you see here it holds all my details.
Right.
So you can stick this anywhere on your phone, like your iPhone, your bag, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and someone just comes up to you and scans that,
Yeah.
and it goes into the
Yeah.
phone. So these come in cards as well.
Yeah.
Like regular
but that's
card
better.
cards.
That's better than opening like your WhatsApp and then
your
going
LinkedIn
there
and
the
all
QR
that,
code.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because almost like I'm just I just got to know you.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you, can I
Have your number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Which is why the card still works, like what Yen says.
Yeah.
And this is a good.
This is good as
And
well.
the digital version is very good for more information.
Yes.
So you can put more.
Your
but
Instagram, your YouTube, everything can be there,
But
yeah.
your physical card has got so little space, and then we have to squint.
and with the digital cards, your face can be in there as well.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's kind of like your LinkedIn profile in a digital form.
Yeah. So I think the world is definitely going towards the digital, but sometimes there's a bit of class.
So have like
in
Yeah.
the card.
have like
Right.
5 or 6 in your wallet, in your purse.
That's the
to
trouble
give
with
out.
the wallets is that they get
Yeah.
very roughed up.
That's true. Yeah.
So I've seen, especially for men, I think women, we have the wallets don't go through so much abuse.
Yeah.
Or it's bigger.
I used to have a name card holder.
So
So
little
everything
hard
is
one.
nice and
Neat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to put it in my wallet like years ago, and exactly what Yen says, right?
All the dog
It's like
ears
you're
and
giving
all
it
that.
away. You feel shy, It's like, oh my goodness, it looks like it's
It's been there for like 10 years.
it's been given out, been passed around.
Or sat on.
Yeah, I sat on. Yes, that's true.
All right. Any more questions you want to ask Yen? Please send it to us on Facebook and YouTube right now.
So we were just talking about branding as part of your portfolio. So I think it's really important that you have a congruent and coherent brand. Just to share a quick story, years and years and years ago, I used to bake. And I
Not
didn't
bake
just bake.
anymore?
I don't
bake us
because
something?
No, because I've kept everything. Everyone in my family is gluten intolerant to some extent, so it's gone. And gluten free cakes,
No fun.
not fun.
Okay.
But I found a talent in cake decorating, and so I was running workshops. I was at one point
Wow.
while doing career coaching. I was also teaching baking classes and how to make like car cakes and tempering chocolate,
cute.
and it was fun for
Yeah.
a while.
Therapeutic?
And it was fun, and it was an outlet for my creative side. But I found that when the school needed to put my profile on the website, and they wanted to promote, it was going to detract from the career coach
The
brand.
branding. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So, I stopped that one. And so I just baked for fun.
But I mean, what is wrong with a career consultant having a love for baking on the side? I mean, does that
no,
really
there's nothing
dilute?
wrong with that. Again, the audience would be very confused. And they go like, oh, wait, how am I supposed to take this person seriously if they're doing both A and B? Like, what's going on? And how much time are you dedicated to my cause?
To my career. Mm.
My cause, again, if it's too complicated and you're out there and there are two different messages and we know how noisy the interweb is.
Yeah.
So if it detracts from your reputation and your brand, it's something to be careful about.
So if
Yeah.
it's something kind of like
congruent.
in line
Yes,
and congruent, it's
yes,
fine.
yes,
But something
yes.
so far apart is
Correct.
a bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I've
if-
met a few people like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, some of them feel like that's the way to go. But you're absolutely right, because when I talk to them and they tell me they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing, they don't have a
Direction.
stable
Yeah.
job. They're doing like a number of things at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time. Like, okay, I'm doing property. I'm doing a financial consultancy. I'm doing
Baking or something. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you go. I'm thinking to myself, then what exactly is
you
your
do?
specialty?
Yeah. Yes.
You know
But
what
you
I
know
mean?
what? I mean, I beg to differ from your point of view of saying.
Like, what
that
are you, Angel?
kind-
What are you? Are you a DJ?
I
Are you a
am-
businesswoman? Are you
I'm
a
everything and anything that you want.
professional globetrotter?
But I feel like I would not take you seriously if I found out that you were like if you were my career coach and you had this passion on the side for baking. But that's just me. I would actually admire the fact that you could do this seriously and then have fun because everybody needs to.
Yeah.
With that on the side.
The that's the thing, fun, but it's not primary. It's not going
Yeah.
to be the main thing. And so if you have loudspeaker, going out there and saying like baking guru, and then I have a website.
So
and
do
I'm
it a bit
doing all
quieter,
this,
maybe?
so
That's
that
okay.
something's got to give.
Yeah.
And you have to have a more consistent brand, and then you can have an orbit. And that's okay. And,
So don't give it up,
You
but
you
just-
are ultimately still a personality. That's you. And then you have a bunch of businesses. You think about someone like Jimmy Fallon or someone like Steve Bartlett. What is his brand? And then he's got so many businesses.
Yeah.
But they're not the ones that use his name. They're being run by other people.
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yeah.
And
They're just like co-founders
That's right,
or
you know?
something, yeah.
And so they might do some promotion, but they're ultimately still a personality. For instance, they've got production houses. They've got all sorts of other things happening. But not-
Restaurants.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go back on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the ECP towards Changi Airport, a vehicle's broken down right after Fort Road's exit. Avoid lane 4. Also on the PIE, same direction towards the airport at Kallang Way's exit, another vehicle has broken down. If you spot anything else, please let us know what that is. 8855
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Today we welcome you are also CEO and founder, right? At
No, I'm
Korea
not a
Agility.
CEO.
Oh, you're not?
I don't
sorry.
want-
There
I
cannot be
don't-
two CEOs. That's right.
Adrian's the front man.
Yeah.
I drummer.
But
So
you are,
you're like the
but you are
COO?
the co-founder as
Yes.
well of the company.
Yes.
That's right. I like to call her the boss.
The boss. Yeah, she is the boss. She's the woman,
boss.
the brains.
What's higher than a
everything.
CEO? What's higher than a CEO?
Chairman.
Chairman.
You're
then.
the chairperson.
From today, you will be
The chairperson.
the chairperson. Adrian, are you watching? She's the chairperson as far as we are concerned of Korea Agility International. Anyway,
so
welcome.
much.
Always nice to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. We were just talking about branding.
Yeah.
And so if you're thinking about doing a portfolio, it's really, really important that you have a clear marketing strategy. So how do you put yourself out there? Because in the past, you would have been having a corporate career and you have perhaps a more limited ecosystem of people that you would network with. But now that you're putting yourself out there and you're thinking, gosh, I want to start looking for projects, you have to have a marketing strategy. And so the words and the choice, and then you have to think about how you want to go out, which platform would fit. Is it going to be LinkedIn or is it going to be TikTok? Do I do direct mailers? Do I write newsletters? Do I go on radio? There are so many platforms in your marketing strategy. So you've got to
Right.
figure out what fits.
Do people need brand colors?
What's a
No,
brand?
a brand, a color that's associated to you. You know, like
Yes.
Kiss, we have our brand colors.
Yes.
Okay.
But people are brands.
Yes.
Do they need colors?
I like that question. I think it really depends.
Yeah.
And again, what do you stand for? I mean, if you are in a somber business, let's say funeral arrangements, then you can't
Black
be
and
doing
white.
you can't be doing pink and
But
sky
these days,
blues.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
There's some-
know.
there's
It's a
some-
celebration of life, right? Some people
Yeah.
see it as that.
Yeah.
You know, someone's passing.
At Career Agility, we did have a marketing guru come talk to us about what we stand for, and then that's how we created that hummingbird, and with the myriad of colors as well. Because again, we're trying to be as many things to everyone and supporting them in their careers. And it's a diversified human race.
So you got that little logo with the
Yeah,
hummingbird,
with the
right?
color. I remember once a long time ago in a previous organization I worked with, it was a very nice solid green, like forest green. And then they switched it to brown
Ooh.
that looked like something in the toilet. And we're all like,
But the reason? I'm sure
on
there's a
earth did they-
reason.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't visible. It was
Yeah.
just one of the many soldiers, and they were like, they're pushing it down from the comms, and then they're saying, okay, from henceforth, this is our color. And I'm like, right, great, wonderful. and then we all just made
Fun of
out
it.
Yeah.
Because there's always like a reason for brands that choose colors. So I was just wondering if people need colors, like on our name cards, is it just black
Yes.
and white? Do we need a logo?
Yeah.
You know, what kind
Yeah.
of design needs to be on the
Yeah.
name card? Is it just Glenn Ong phone number and that's it?
Yeah, and
You
so
know?
yeah, as part of that branding strategy, you got to figure out what your values are, what you stand for, what are you trying to do, what's your mission, and then maybe there might be some colors associated with
Okay.
it. Then you want to have a consistent messaging plus. Like a template of
The
sorts.
font needs to be there, your brand book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you all saw what happened with Jaguar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everyone's going
Why? Yeah.
and so I think that's important. So if you're going out there in a portfolio, you have to also do your own business development. And so marketing is a huge part of that, because one of the things that happens to a lot of people who embark on portfolio careerism is that they don't know when the next assignment is coming from. And they've got to consistently keep doing the business development.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Yen on The Big Show TV. Remember your chance to ask Yen anything this morning, okay? Here's Lisa featuring Tyler, When I'm With You on Kiss 92.
This is brand new. Here's a
So what color would you be, Glenn? If you were to choose like a branding color and a logo, what would that look like?
I like blue.
Everton blue.
Everton blue.
That kind of
Yeah.
brand. But not because of Everton or because of Everton?
No, I've always liked that blue.
Yeah, okay.
That's the thing. But I've always been chicken, you know. I've always wanted like my car to be that blue.
Oh, that's a nice one.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You say it's
I
a
think
nice
it's
one.
called like
but-
Yas Marina Blue for the BMWs, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
It's a Yas
but I'm
Marina
so
Blue, yeah.
afraid, because I get tired of things so quickly. I'm so afraid I'll get tired of the color. You know what I mean? And then
Not like it anymore.
yeah,
You can always now do that sticker thing.
The wrap.
You know, you can
The wrap,
it up.
yeah.
really. But
And you can be holographic, so that from this angle it's blue, from that angle it's
It's
purple.
pink.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid like it'll spoil the.
I don't think it does.
the
I don't think it
paint.
does.
Like,
I
and
think
eventually, let's say if I want to sell my car and all that, will it be, will
it sort of
will the price, will I not
depreciate
get
because
the
of that?
yeah
Yeah. No, I think
because
nowadays
there's a wrap on it. You know
I
what
think
I
the
mean?
wraps nowadays are really, really good. They come off without destroying the paints.
Oh,
Yeah.
so before I sell my car, I can.
You can unwrap it.
And that's another thing, right? I drive my car for 1.5 years, 2 years, and then I sell it off, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of that bad habit. Actually, I've
So how
wasted
long-
so much money.
How
on
long has
cars.
it been now with this one?
Slightly over a year.
Okay, a little bit
A
longer.
year. Man,
Wait.
What color
wait.
is it?
it's white.
Why?
There you. So you wrap it.
Yeah, wrap
Wrap
it
it
in blue.
wrap it
We
blue.
dare you.
I don't know, man. I
David
don't
David
know.
Boo says BMW has a color changing car. Yes, we know that one. I don't think it ever made it to market.
Yeah,
right? No,
no,
it didn't.
no.
Yeah, it was a prototype.
Is it like the color changing nails?
Are there?
Yeah,
Is there such a thing?
There are.
Oh, yes.
This one.
UV light. So
Yeah.
Indoors, the color would be different, and then when you're outdoors,
Outdoors,
the
it'll be-
color would.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
transition nails.
Yeah, almost like your glasses.
But you talk about one color, or it could be different colors.
Just one.
Yeah,
This one,
Yeah, there
it
you
becomes
go.
that white glow in the dark
Oh.
kind of thing, right?
I think
The
that's the
UV?
glow in the dark one, but there's also the one that turns pink.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
You know, I've been
anyway.
wanting to ask you again. So, if anyone, for example, wants to, let's say, start a business or something like
Yes.
that, can they also approach Adrian and yourself?
Yeah,
can,
definitely.
right?
Because one of the things that we help our clients do is kind of like take stock and sort of reposition and reframe the business strategy. It's very similar to portfolioing as well. I mean, if you were thinking about what it is that you stand for and what you want to do, and then we help you bounce ideas, we give you some vocabulary. It is not too difficult, but it's also not as straightforward as it seems, because you do want to think about it. A lot of people tend to get stuck on one element, and they forget that they haven't done the environmental scanning, they haven't done a pro forma financial plan, they haven't thought about
There's
their pricing.
a lot to think
Yeah.
about.
They got
yeah.
to think about the fees, like what was the market rate? I don't know the market rate, and I feel like charging this much, but is it too much? Is it too little?
Yeah.
Then is that they don't know what their marketing strategy is. Okay, so if you look at my LinkedIn, what does it say? Because sometimes when we're doing it from this side of the table, we don't see it
Yeah.
until we ask someone, what do what's your perception when you land on this page? What do you think? So we provide all that scaffolding.
Yeah, too many people feel like they just want to go into something that they have an interest for.
Which is a good thing, right?
Which helps.
but then they just go in without doing
Without the homework,
research. Like,
yeah.
oh, I like drinking. Let's open a pub.
Yeah, this is
You-
true.
You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
And then
And,
then
I'm
they,
my own best customer.
I like partying. Let's open a club.
yeah, and then they realize, oh my
No
goodness,
one's
not
coming.
exactly a good idea because it's so
No.
hard, and that's so many out there.
Yeah.
And then for that you've got because it's physical, so you've got procurement and you've got supply
Overheads
chains,
and-
Yeah.
you've got refrigeration,
Staffing,
Oh, yes,
everything.
pilfering.
Yeah. Pilfering as well. So, okay, there are so many freelancers out there.
Yes.
Like consultants, might be HR, might be career consultants, whatever it may be. Someone who's left the corporate world, trying to make it on their own as a consultant or an expert advisor, whatever. Do you suggest they open their own company to sort of do all this, or just run on a freelance basis? Come, you want to pay me, just bank into my account kind of thing? Or do you think they should have a proper company with proper invoicing, everything going on?
It really depends. So if you're starting out and you want to maybe take baby steps, and you don't want to have the expense of having to set up a private limited, you might do it on your own first, and just Angel Inc. And offer out as a gig, and that would work. But there are organizations that only want to work with another B2B, like it's a corporate, and so they want to make sure, because for audit reasons or compliance reasons,
They're
or
not paying an
whatever, then-
individual.
Correct. They want to make sure that you are on their vendor approved list.
Yeah.
And so that's important. So again, it really depends, because there are trainers I know that do not have a business, and again, some organizations would be a bit more picky about it. And if you want to go big, then yes, eventually you should be setting up something.
And would you recommend opening a private limited or a sole propriety company?
Depending on what you're offering again.
Okay, let's say,
yeah.
consultancy, whatnot and all that.
Yeah, again, if it's just you, then maybe a sole proprietor. But if it gets any bigger, then private limited, because you want to protect yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
So again, it really depends, because there are consultants who as their own portfolio would only take on long-term assignments
Yeah.
and be exclusive for say 6 to 9 months.
For a certain company.
And then they take 3 months off.
That's
and
like a
then they'll
retainer,
pick
right?
off.
That-
Is it like a retainer or like an executive contractor? Again, it arose by any other name, so it doesn't matter what you call me, but I am not a permanent employee. And so if I'm going to be working long term with company A for say 6 months, then maybe I don't need a business. It depends. But again, if you are doing it on your own for whatever reason, come talk to us, because there are other little things that we can help you think about, like how to do your income tax and
Very important.
and,
Yeah, there you go.
Calculate your balance sheet and what is considered allowable business expense.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
Okay, going back on air.
Kiss 92 Traffic.
All right, taking a look at the situation on the roads. On the ECP towards the airport after the Fort Road exit, avoid lane 4 of vehicles broken down. Also on the PIE towards the airport, vehicle having trouble at Kallang Way's exit. And on the CTE towards the AYE, an accident before Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5's exit, avoid lanes 1 and 2. Stay safe out there.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for today is from Korea Agility International. We've got Yen with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Yen. And on the Big Show TV, I was asking you for anyone who wants to start a company, say they've left the corporate world and they want to do consulting or advising, should they be opening up their own company?
Yeah, and the answer is it really depends. If you're just starting out, maybe you want to kind of experiment a little bit first before you put out some money and set up a business that might cost you a little bit more. So you could start slow, or you could go out and set up a private limited so that you can protect your interests. So it really depends on your context and your domain.
Okay.
Now, for someone who wants to invest in a business,
Okay.
like maybe someone's approached this individual
Yes.
who already has a regular job, and can they also go to you guys at Korea Agility International to get you guys to help them do a little bit of research
Due diligence.
before investing?
We can help.
Okay.
We do know a little bit about the businesses and the funny things that are happening.
Right.
But we're not the experts in that space, so I don't want to set expectations that we can help. But yes, it's nice to have a chat with someone so that we can point them in the right direction, and to have them kind of think about something that might be a blind spot.
I know what you could do. Hire a private investigator to do the due diligence into
Do
this
background
company.
checks.
Yeah, background check, see what these guys are up to, what they do.
I think investing in businesses can be very, very risky.
Very tricky. Yeah, very, very
Because
tricky.
you might not see returns for 20 years
Oh,
as
wow.
they're trying to build things up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Bitten a couple of times.
Okay, I think that's all the time we have for Happy at Work Thursday today. Thank you very much, Yen. Before you go, would you like to say anything else?
Yeah, I think if you are feeling that you're in a crossroads, if you're thinking about, look, I want to slow down, but I don't know what, come talk to us. Because it's not too difficult, but we want you to think about what goes into the downshift, what goes into maybe the next stage, so that you go in, both eyes are open, and you're prepared for the things that come. You don't want to be caught and suddenly run out of
Sideswiped
right
or
out of
something,
issues
yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I mean, reach out. We're here.
All right. Thank you very much, Yen.
Pleasure.
Once again, if you want to get in touch with Yen or Adrian, you can do so. info@koreaagility.org. Thank you so much, Yen. Thank you. Up next, Dua Lipa. This is Don't Start Now on Kiss 92.